The first that I had heard of the Iran versus Iraq war was through TikTok. Not the most reliable source, I know, but it sparked my curiosity. So, when we signed up for this project, I decided to choose this issue. As I dug deeper into my sources, I was shocked at how we were never taught about this and how little it's discussed. It's reported to be the most destructive war since World War II. Not only did it affect the two nations involved, but it will continue to affect our future. If we don't learn about it, history could repeat itself, and it might already be in the process of doing so. To truly understand this conflict, we need to first understand the source, the countries themselves, and how the war started. It all began when the United Kingdom gave up their claim on the Persian Gulf, causing the need to reorganize the region. Pre-existing disagreements between Iran and Iraq about territorial rights were reignited with this new land to fight over. They had come to an agreement in 1975 that Iraq could have the bank of the Persian Gulf that was connected to the Tigris and Euphrates River. This was called into question after the Iranian Revolution of 1978 to 79, where there was a lot of clashing at the borders of the territory. Ruhollah Khomeini, a political and religious figure in Iran, had found an audience for his ideas as he was captive in Iraq. This led to the Prime Minister of Iraq, Tariq Aziz, being sympathetic to the Iranian Revolution. This angered Saddam Hussein, the leader of Iraq at the time. The government was already in disorder, and he had thought previously that the agreement they had made was unfair. He demanded that Iran give up the islands of Abu Musa and Greater and Lesser Thumb, Persian Gulf islands. In September 1980, the Iraqi army took the Iranians by surprise and by advancing into Khuzestan towards them. In just 3 months, the Iraqi army had claimed 75 miles of land inside Iran after extremely strong pushback by an Iranian state militia called the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, or IRGC. 1 year after the initial attack, Iranian forces had pushed the Iraqi troops back across the Iran-Karun River. Iraq attempted to strike up a peace agreement with Iran to no avail. After many attacks that did nothing except waste the lives of young boys the Iraqi government just plucked off of the street, it seemed that they had entered a stalemate. The military began to favor Iraq and raised up hundreds of weapons to aid in their fight. In July 1987, Iran and Iraq were told to cease fire by the United Nations. Iraq agreed to do so, but only if Iran agreed as well. Iran did not agree and demanded that Iraq should pay reparations for all the damage done in the battles. This did not happen. The fight resumed in the Persian Gulf with Iraqi forces using chemical weapons against their enemies. They recaptured the Fao Peninsula and liberated Salamacha and Majnan, invading deep into Iran. The war had left such a deep effect on the people of Iran that they had finally given in to the United Nations agreements. The ceasefire was enforced on August 20th, 1988. Iran had won the war with no glory attached. The war has been thought to have 1 to 2 million casualties. Both nations' oil supply had been cut in half, and in Iran alone, over 120,000 houses were destroyed. Iraq dealt with bankruptcy and destitution. Iraqi people's hostility towards Iran has only grown throughout the years past the war, and both countries have grown more and more distant with the U.S. The balance of power is completely lopsided, leaving Iran too powerful to have a steady alliance with Iraq. With this unease increasing with each day, it is projected that this will end in disaster once more. The unfinished business of the war will continue to play out, as it is already doing so. Barbara Slavin and Abbas Kadim from the Future of Iran Initiative at the Atlantic Council state that Iran and Iraq have learned from their past mistakes, possibly meaning that they will be more clever and direct with their attacks in the future. This will prove to be devastating to the Middle East. For a situation so devastating, it isn't covered much. We need to cover more of history, or else it will repeat itself, and it's already under the threat of doing so. If we can take precautions to stop this future war from happening, we could save millions of lives.